Black Power over here in the lot of the Marathon Clothing. Once again, paying respects to our great brother Nipsey. Made his transition this past Sunday. I most definitely thank you, brother, for your life, for your work, for all you did for your people, your hood, your family. I want to thank Sam for most definitely being a true, loyal brother and friend to him. And I want to thank the moms and pops for giving us some incredible children. I personally thank y'all for honoring and entrusting us to watch them for a few summers over at the Ladera Park Summer Camp. It just so happened their first year over there, Nipsey was put into my group, and pretty much the same personality and spirit, you know, the world got to know is the same person he was back then. Very sociable, sense of humor, conscious, was able to relate to his peers. I think he might have been about 6 or 7, but he, you know, connected with the older kids, kids his brother age. We had teen counselors he connected with. You know, he was most definitely the social one, and Sam was the one that would mix it up. Cause, you know, Sam didn't take no mess. It wasn't nothing like a bully, but he just didn't tolerate no foolishness. And he quickly established himself. You know, I was most definitely honored to have that experience. Our camp went until about 12 years of age, so I don't know if it was they stopped coming or was that I had left around 96 and moved to Atlanta for a couple years, that for a period I stopped seeing them, not until their young adult years that I started seeing them again. And it's crazy because I learned from my brother G-Bone, who produced the documentary 41st and Central, that Nipsey actually ended up over there with brother Roland in his group home, the mighty Roland Freeman. And Roland Freeman was one of the original Slaucons. You know what I'm saying? With his brother Ronald Freeman and our apprentice Bunchy Carter. You know, those of y'all that don't know, the Slaucons was a group that formed as black people moved over here to the west side to fight off some of the white boys. I think they were called like spook hunters or some shit. You know, they was coming out in Inglewood and Culver City trying to terrorize the blacks who was moving over here. But the Slaucons went on to become, under Bunchy Carter's leadership, the Southern California chapter of the Black Panther Party. And, you know, Bunchy was assassinated along with John Huggins over there at UCLA. And initially a lot of folks just thought that was something black on black, but we later found out COINTELPRO created the environment for that. And then later that same year, they made a move first on Chairman Fred Hampton and the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, assassinating Chairman Fred and Captain Mark Clark. And then the next day, the LAPD made a move on the Black Panthers here on 41st and Central, and Roland Freeman, along with his brother Ronald, Muhammad Mubarak, Queen Mama Samaya, and others, were 11 Panthers who had a hour shootout with the LAPD. You know, they had a shootout with over 300 pigs. And not only did they survive, they was found not guilty. But Roland, one of the participants in that shootout, had a group home right down here on Crenshaw, and I found out Nip was in that group home. And just recently found out, you know, their father was a revolutionary, so, you know, that spirit was most definitely on him and Sam. You know, that's why it's pouring all throughout his music. And it was was somewhere, I think around 2009 or so. I ran into Nip up here at the 7-Eleven on Los Angeles Vista, and he was slanging his CD. I think it was Bullets Ain't Got No Names, Volume 3. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know he was banging or nothing like that. I didn't know he was rapping, so I bought it and took it home and listened to it, and I was blown away. You know, first and foremost, him just sharing in it that he was banging like that, but then just hearing his level of consciousness, but also the message of empowerment he was putting out to the people, and the quality of the music. And then, you know, a few times ran into him after that and was just like, man, you know. And I think the next time I ran into him, really talked to him, we was at court. You know, I'm supposed to be the older example or whatnot, but the crazy thing about that court appearance, it was the same appearance when I found out the Sheriff Lloyd McCullough, who had did the undercover interview on me concerning the incident with Faison. That's where I found out he was a sheriff. At the same time I ran into Nips in court. And I remember Nip asked me how much would I or we charge the bodyguard, and I told him, it was like, bruh, you know, we got you. They ain't charging you nothing, but he insisted, so, you know, I ended up quoting him a price both for unarmed and armed bodyguards, and he was like, cool. I think that was around the time he was doing shows with Sandman and the Slauson Boys. And, you know, that's when Mac really started just sharing me everything that was happening with him, you know, where they was doing shows, all the different videos, you know. Mac the one that put me up on the Payback video. Now I'm gonna add a link with a lot of different videos I've been compiling this week. And you know, what ended up happening to Sandman was crazy. But from there, just saw Nip get bigger and bigger. Hussle in the house. And you know, just proud of him, man. Another cat rising up from all the craziness and didn't just go Hollywood. He brought it back to the hood, you know. As he continuously shared, he came and claimed this. In the midst of all the gentrification that's happening, he came and claimed his spot on the block, the whole spot on the block. And, you know, just always stay solid. You know, wherever I saw him, I always just chopped it up for a minute. And, you know, just really expressing his disdain for what was happening with all the folks that was getting killed out here by the police, all the other folks that was moving in, taking over, and just constantly expressing how, you know, it was his intentions to maintain and take control of this situation. And as we see, he most definitely did that. And it's you know, unfortunate that we still have people in that spirit and mind state that would do what that sorry piece of shit did. You know, like I was saying with Bunch, initially when that happened, a lot of folks thought it was just black on black. You know, when the situation with Malcolm happened, folks thought it was just black on black. And when the situation with Tupac happened, folks thought it was just black on black. But as we have since learned, you know, there were higher powers in play in the background. So, you know, we most definitely are waiting to find more information on what all played into this. But you know, if Sam, if you, the family, see this before I get to speak to y'all, just know it ain't nothing I won't do for y'all. You know, just let me know. Just let me know. This is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. And I personally salute all of y'all who have been putting in work to make sure y'all honor Nipsey word, because he said ride for him. And those of y'all that's been riding for him, salute. You know, everybody always want to come out and tell us to be peaceful after some shit like this happening, but we see no other people are peaceful. Just under the so-called threat of something that happened, we see the U.S. go and take out whole countries. You know, Saddam didn't have no bombs like Nipsey and Payback. Saddam didn't have no damn bombs, but we saw they went and killed tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands of people. Went into Libya, killed tens of thousands of people. But again, we lose somebody great and everybody want to tell us to be peaceful, y'all. This ain't time to be peaceful. We already got genocide upon us, gentrification upon us. And now they've taken one of the few brothers who was actually in pocket to financially do something, to have a strong enough voice to reach the young people to do something. And they expect us to be at peace. Nah, this ain't nothing peaceful. So again, I salute all of y'all that's been out here putting in work this entire week. You know, we most definitely cannot tear down and destroy our own. We most definitely cannot afford to allow any gang wars to erupt. I just saw a video today talking about a tweet Nip had put out about having big enemies, and supposedly it was a cat from Inglewood families he had ran into. So yeah, we most definitely got to continue that work and bringing all the tribes together, y'all. But that's where our true strength lies. You know, with all these conspiracies, with all the different things they feel they can do and get away with, our power is in our numbers uniting, y'all. And this is where our strength is out here on the street. So everybody's in pocket to make sure that continues happening. We gotta make sure that happening, y'all, because they already talking about another bloody summer. And that most definitely is what Nip didn't want to happen. You know, he and cats around here had more than enough reason to be wilding out themselves, but it was put on his heart, on his consciousness to change it. And we got to continue that change, y'all. So all y'all can do to help support the family to make sure they maintain this. Help make sure they maintain this, because we saw after Pac's transition, you know, they waited till his mom, Afeni Shakur, made her transition. They basically reclaimed his estate. And I was fortunate to meet Pac back in, you know, the 90s. Went up to a club in Oakland with a brother, and, you know, he took me to all the different spots. It just so happened one of the clubs we went to, Pac was in there with a few different girls partying, and got to chop it up with him for a couple minutes. It was like the brother knew me forever. And that's where he and Nip had a very similar spirit. And like I said, Nip had that spirit when he was way young. He was very sociable. You know, it was that God spirit. It's crazy. I've seen a couple portraits online people circulated depicting Nip, Pac, and Dr. Sabi. You know, three brothers I was fortunate to meet. All taken out. And again, as we saw with Pac and Dr. Sabi, higher powers played a role in that. That's why we can't rule it out with Nipsey, y'all. But this brother was in opposition to so much that was happening. And not too long after I met Pac, you know, that's when he was taken out. And that was why I was out there in Atlanta. And then 2002, I started hearing all this about Dr. Sabi in 2003, when I was a DJ over there at Orange East Liberation Radio. Warren kept bragging about it and finally brought him through one day on our morning show, and normally we interview guests about 15 to 30 minutes. Dr. Sabi ended up taking over that whole show and came back several times, but the information was so powerful we had to let it roll. And applying the information he put out, I can say for a fact it most definitely worked. using Dr. Sebi products, I can say for a fact it most definitely worked. But again, after his transition, you know what I'm saying, we can see he was interfering with the trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry that they use to poison us. So it's a battle over there with his family to retain his business. So again, you best believe they powers that be are gonna try everything they can to take this from the family, y'all. That's why y'all gotta help them maintain this. Past few years, I saw people from all around the world come over here. You know, the first couple nights we was out here, it was people from all around the world. You know, after the craziness on that first night, one cat came out the second night, all cheering up and just explaining, you know, if Nip lived and went through all of this as a fan, it was his duty to come over here and pay his respect every night he could, no matter how crazy it got. And, you know, like the sister said that first night, we thank all of y'all who supported and made Nip as big as he was supposed to be, you know, on an international level. Thank y'all. But most definitely the black family, now it's time for us to step up. You know, I heard a lot of folks with different jealousies and hate while he was living, and even seen some of y'all change y'all tunes now that he's gone, but more importantly, help the family maintain this, y'all. As we out here fighting to maintain this Africa, call this Africa Town, help the family maintain this, y'all. Black power. I'm saying I respect you, brother, and I thank you for everything you did, brother Nipsey. Young ERMIAS. And again, you know, at the family, if y'all see this, before I get to see y'all, anything y'all need, just let me know. Black power.